Hello, everyone. Sufit here. I'm here today with Chuck Ticker, estate mediator and author of Bobby Gets Bupkis, Navigating the Sibling Estate Fight. Chuck, I have a quick question for you here. Um, I heard of a situation where there were three children, the mother's still alive, and the one of the sisters mentioned that she's not going to get anything from the estate. Her sister's going to get everything because the sister lived with the mother for many years. And even when the mother went into care, um, her funds went to taking care of the mother. And then when she eventually passed away, the sister would probably get the whole of what was left, which was the house. Any comments about that? And, the mother's still alive at this point. Is there anything this sister can do about that?
Um, I'm taking um, from your question and the facts as presented. I'm taking I'm understanding that the sister who is not going to be or doesn't think she's going to be getting anything from the estate or receiving the house because her other sister who's doing the lion's share, the caregiving, is going to get the house. Um, Obviously, to me, it says that they knew something about this. Either there was a discussion with the other sister or mother said
Yeah,
something.
it's all out in the open,
It's all out in the open.
and not necessarily that the sister's doing the lion's share of the caregiving. There might not be any caregiving. She's just the sister's living with
Phil,
her.
the sister needs the house more than the others or whatever.
Well,
Okay.
I don't know. And then the mother eventually goes into care, so the bulk of the money goes to the
Right.
caring. Um,
Okay. Well, quite often this happens, there'll be a dispute after the parent dies and they see the will and they say, whoa, and they find out about it for the first time. Now they can do something. If it's something that's being done during or contemplated during the mother's lifetime, first of all, I commend the mother for sharing the plan with her children and being transparent because, um, and that's what I always, when I was practicing, would always tell clients, and I've written about this as well. If you're going to do something that has the potential for being contentious or something that's going to make one or more of your kids unhappy, best to have that, you know, discussion around the dining room table, or even maybe even a professional business-like meeting with a professional advisors to try and get the family to buy into the estate plan. Um, Now, if this happens during his mother's lifetime, unless you can show that mother doesn't have the capacity to make this large gift, or doesn't understand what she's doing, or you can try undue influence. If this happens during lifetime, if people want to start to question it legally in court, they probably should get some advice and probably have to do something while mom's alive if they know what's going on. Um, and that's probably going to cause a lot of problems down the road as well. And they'll probably be out of the will for sure. But if that's the only major asset, and if mom is independent and has the capacity to make a gift, it's going to be difficult to challenge because there's nothing, at least in Ontario where I practiced, that says you have to treat your children equally, right? So,
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. There's nothing that says you have to treat your children equally. And I think in this case, probably the money was supposed to be divided equally, but the money is going towards her care. But the
right,
home is going to the sister who lived with her, regardless of whether she did care or not.
right.
So I guess this does demonstrate a really important point that at least in Ontario, as you say, there is no inherent obligation for a parent, a fully competent parent, to leave anything equally to anybody. Is that right?
Right. So, in this fact scenario, as you're describing to me, it doesn't sound like there are any issues with mom's capacity, or if she's got any dementia or any other um, illness that might affect her ability to fully consider the repercussions of making this large gift, that she understands that she's got other kids that probably aren't going to be happy. And if she's come out and said, look, this is what I'm going to do, um, uh, and she's doing this during her lifetime, then they put the kids on notice, and if she's going to live for many years after that, and they wait till she dies, they're probably going to have face a defense of, that they waited too long or they missed the limitation period. Once again, I'm not giving legal advice here. This is just a general discussion. Um, so in that scenario, the kids want to challenge it. They're going to have to do it sooner than later. But it sounds from what you're describing that they would have an uphill battle. It would be different if mom was frail, had cognitive issues, signs of dementia. Then you're getting into a whole different scenario.
Yeah, but even if she did have signs of dementia in this case, it would have been later. At the time that the will was made, I'm assuming that she was fully competent. And
Hmm.
so you're saying the only hope for this child or these children would be to plead with mom while she's alive rather than wait till she either has dementia or she's deceased?
Right. Well, they can try and have a chat with mom, and sometimes, the beneficiary of this gift is goes to the parent and says, "Look, don't put me in this situation. I get along with my siblings. I'm not looking to get into a dispute with them down the road, so I don't want the house." But there might there might be a very good reason why, mom wants to give her the house. Maybe the other children are married, have houses. She doesn't. I don't know the story, but it should be documented, and anything like that, person needs to get proper estate planning advice and have it properly documented.
All right. Well, please comment, folks, if you're listening to this, if you've had a similar situation, if you know of a similar situation, please comment, like, share. Our guest today has been Chuck Ticker, estate mediator and author of Bobby Gets Bubkus, Navigating the Sibling Estate Fight. Thank you very much, Chuck.
My pleasure.